Welcome to the Ask the Pro Show. This is where we really uncover what matters to you building your ultimate fitness business. And just before we jump into today's episode, I want to make sure that you have joined us in the Fitness Business Success Circle. I'll pop a link below for you to be able to join the free group, and so you get access to all the live streams, the guides, the programs, and really you getting the answers to the questions that you have as well. Also, there is the Fitness Business Quiz. So if you're wanting the exact step-by-step what you need to do to build your fitness business, because you might be a little confused whether you want to build your face-to-face, whether you want to build your online, or whether you want to do both, is completely up to you. I'll pop a link below for you to take the free Fitness Business Quiz so you get access to the guides walking you through that as well. Also, if you love this episode, and I hope you do, I would love for you to click like and share this out as well. But also, any questions at all, make sure you hit me up below, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the inside. Gulliver, thank you so much for coming onto the show, brother. I'm pumped. I know you're a genius in so many things, and there's so much that we can unpack on this. So I know that we're just talking about Jay Abraham, and I want to come back to that and everything that you guys are doing. But for now, because I want to make sure that everybody knows exactly of the brilliance that they're going to be able to soak in. Who is Gulliver, and why are you so phenomenal?
Gosh, why am I phenomenal? Well, I think the reason that I'm phenomenal is because I sucked so badly when I first started. Like a lot of people, you know, I didn't spring fully formed, out of an egg from the mind of Zeus and, yay, it's me and I'm here to conquer the world. It was like I sucked ass at sales. I was a miserable kind of commission-only salesperson. I did a really, really awful job. And somehow, as happens in sales, I was elevated to management because even though I was doing an awful job, I was the best on the floor at doing a shitty job. So here I am as a manager. Fuck me. How the hell did I become a sales manager and trying to motivate 5, 10, 15 people to do their jobs? And I got good at it, but at the price of, a lot of like sleepless nights and not being able to pay the mortgage. And, they say that, what is it? I think Zig Ziglar says that the bad salesperson has skinny children. It was kind of like that.
Yeah.
So I met my beautiful wife, Leela, who's the founder of our business, back at that time as I stepped from, spending 5 years on sales floors into becoming a manager. At that point, she started her business, which was an information marketing business around information products and basically how to actually create products and events from what you've got in your brain. So that was back in 2000 something, like way back in the day, about 10 years ago now. And after a couple of years of her basically saying, hey, your job makes you miserable. So I'm basically like that horrible husband. It's like I'm in my day job, my wife's trying to start a business, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing paying all that money to mentor? Which is something I deal with now all the time. So it's kind of like karmic retribution of my earliest sins. So she talked me out of being in my day job eventually, and I came on board to work for her. And it was a huge learning curve. It was steep and it was scary. And it's really different than, as you probably know yourself and everybody who's listening who started their own business knows, when you start selling in someone else's business, it's scary. But, it's nowhere near as intimidating as when you go out on your own. And it's you versus the wolves with a teaspoon to kind of fight them off with. And you're trying to figure out what the hell you're doing. And for that first year, it was horrible. Like, it was terrible. And the way we started was behind on money and in debt. So we started the business not, you hear these stories about people, I left my day job and I had to live off my credit card for a few months before things started to work. It was not. People knocking on the door, putting summonses on the door saying, we're going to take your house. And I'm saying, hey, you should listen to us about how you should grow your business. And it was really because we had the IP, we had the intel, but our personal circumstances at that time were not a reflection of our great genius. So it was very, very hard to maintain that level of this is going to work in the face of the constant unmarked numbers calling to disconnect the phone and living on that razor's edge of, if we don't make that next sale, we're fucked kind of thing. So that's where my sales, really real sales experience began. Yeah. And what we discovered was that people coming to us to learn from us who wanted to learn how to create ebooks and e-courses and information products, they all thought that they were going to put that stuff on the internet and money was going to rain from the sky and everything was going to be fucking fantastic. And we realized they didn't understand how to sell and they didn't understand how to market themselves. So we ended up adding in sales and we ended up adding in, bootstrapping, street fighting, guerrilla marketing sort of techniques. So we ended up teaching not just product, but how to get clear on your niche, how to get clear on your message, how to get clear on where you're going to build your list from, how to get clear on what profitable product that you can build, how to get clear on your sales process, and it ended up growing and growing. So we did that. We started running successful events. I started training sales. People started getting results. And we got to about $250,000, and we said, what the hell are we doing living in a 2-bedroom apartment in Footscray? So we moved to the northern New South Wales, and we ended up doing business with Frank Kern, who's a pretty well-regarded internet marketer. We were doing about $500,000. We went to work with him. We went to $1 million. That was really cool. This whole period of time, getting better and better and better and better, it was all really hard work, getting on the phone, closing people into, $97 deals to start with, $1,000 deals, $12,000 deals, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 deals, $30,000 deals, $60,000 deals. It gets better and better, but the work is never over. So why am I so good? I don't even know that I am, to tell you the truth. I'm just a bloke that's gone through some experiences. Not everybody makes it to $1 million. Not everybody makes it to $2 million. Not everybody in the first few years of business, most people go broke. So yeah, look, I think I've survived. I don't know that I'm like the great genius, but what I do know is what it feels like to suck and what has to happen to go from sucking to making $1 million or $2 million. And the reason that, Frank and Ryan Dice from Digital Marketer ended up sitting down and doing deals with us around sales was because they didn't know what I knew about getting someone to go from 0 to $1 million. And that's what their sales team needed to do, each and every one of them. So when we charged, we quote Ryan and Roland from Digital Marketer about $25,000 for a couple of days. We went in, we taught their team. On the second day, we put them on the phone and they made $75,000. And I'm like, shit. And the next week they made 90. And the next week they made 200 and something. The next week they made 300. And they went, fuck. I should have charged more. So I'm continually underestimating. It never stops. It never stops.
Nobody know who Roland is? Because I just last night I'm going to an event where he's speaking at in Austin, Texas, in a month or something.
Yeah,
and I was like, nobody knows who Roland is. Why?
Roland is a very, very deliberate individual. He's very, very smart, and Roland's the kind of guy that makes shit happen. And he's largely like, he'll get up on stage with the guys and Perry and Ryan and kind of be part, and he'll get up at War Room and he'll be part, but he's very much the kind of mover behind the curtain, making all the other stuff happen. He's a lot of the reason why I'm going. He's an operations genius. He's a strategic genius. He's a really clever guy.
Awesome. Sorry, mad tangent. Sorry about that. Okay, when you said something before, I
hit
the record button, John. I just sidetracked you off. The mindset for sales, and I think this is something I'll be pretty confident nearly everybody that's been running a business will be struggling with. And I know I certainly struggled when I first became a personal trainer. And I actually remember when I first started in the big box gym, and I was friends with the general manager of the gym, because actually my girlfriend, which is now my wife at the time, she was actually the receptionist at the gym. Yeah. And so anyway, and he brought me in one day. I was fresh in the gym. I should have been like personal training clients or trying to get clients. And he brings me in and he sat me down with the rest of the sales people doing calls, like cold calls, straight up. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Anyway, I'm so thankful that he did that, because it was a massive learning curve, like really quick, like fish slapped to the face. Okay, this is actually how you're going to learn to sell. And that was just kind of like the very first part into it. But especially when it comes to the mindset of sales, how do you help somebody wrap their head around why it is so important, why it isn't a bad thing, and why they should really put so much energy, time, resources towards it?
Well, before the camera came on, before you said, like, what do you want to talk about? And the question I immediately came back with was, what do your people need?
Yeah.
That's sales right there.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about Gulliver Giles, the great exalted genius with the freaking 10-foot tall lightning bolts coming out of his asshole, 17-inch penis kind of thing. It's not about that. And there's a lot of dudes selling that kind of, I'm a boss and I'm going to make all the sales and I'm a boss and I was a boss when I was a boy. Yeah. People who don't make money aren't even real human beings. Ha, 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 ha. We should sell all the junk bonds and then smoke cocaine and pop strippers. Ha, 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 ha. And there's a lot of that coming out of America right now, particularly. You'll see that all of those cunts are selling the great Lamborghini copter dream. Man, it's like, fuck that shit. I drive a fucking Land Cruiser. I could afford a Lamborghini copter. I just don't fucking want one. Because I like to go deer hunting, not run up Capitol Street fucking strippers. It's just who I am. Like, so as a married man, you can appreciate there's a bit of a values mismatch for me in selling shit to people for no really good reason that doesn't even make a difference in the world. I think the big difference is for me, it's like, well, what do you care about and why is it important for you to do it? Because if you can't answer that question, you probably shouldn't be selling it.
Yes. And
that also gets you away from worrying about whether you're good enough. Because it's not about you. It's about that person comes into the gym that needs to lose 20 kilos or they're going to have a heart attack 10 years earlier than they should. Yeah? It's about that person coming into the gym who wants to win that championship and is prepared to do whatever it takes. And if you don't get them to the gym and get them on that stage, then it's kind of your fault that you're not helping them and someone else is going to. It's not about you. And that's the biggest thing I learned. Like when I was calling, freaking out because the debt collectors were calling, when I was calling and freaking out because we were going to lose the house, when I was making those phone calls, I discovered very much by accident that when you're scared and you feel terrified and you're worried, as many people when they're making cold calls or even warm calls feel, they are confronted with all of their fears and all of their shit comes up. People are like little tubes of toothpaste. You squeeze them a little bit and all the shit inside them comes out. Sales is very much like that squeeze. All of the shit inside you around how you're not good enough and everyone's going to hate you. And if you call that person, they're going to tell you to get fucked and they think you're an asshole. All of that stuff comes up and it's all up in your head, but it all comes out. The biggest thing that I teach people is how to set the fuck aside and chat.
Yes.
On the phone call, just giving the best value I can to Chris.
Yeah.
Everything else doesn't exist. And I discovered this quite by accident. That you could escape from your wife having a panic attack, the debt collectors, and the misery by just trying to help that one person you were talking to. Everything else
that's actually...
Everything else disappeared.
It's brilliant because it becomes so simple at the end of the day, is learn more about that person, that one-on-one interaction that you're having right now, and how do I best help that person? Yeah. Are we a right fit? If we're not a right fit, like something that I've said to people is like, look, at the end of the day, do you know what I mean? People might be coming on, they're not a right fit. I'm like, look, you're looking for kebabs, I'm selling pizzas, this ain't going to work. Do you know what I mean? It's all good, let me send you in the right direction from there. How do you help people master the concept of what they need to do to when it comes to being able to ask the right questions?
Well, I think it comes from the basic premise that sales is about love, and this is something that we really push. It's about love and it's about self-respect. So it's about loving people enough to call them and find out about them and care about them as it pertains to you. And then it's about respecting them enough to call them on it if they're not stepping in their life. I do a lot of work with people in your industry, in health and fitness, and you guys are literally selling happiness, energy, vitality, mobility, more years of life. People are like, oh, Gulliver, it's easy for you because you're selling people how to make an extra $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. It's like, well, number one, it's not easy. There is a fucking skill set involved in that. Otherwise, there wouldn't be so few people in the world doing it as well as I do. So maybe that's not easy for others, but it's not any easier. There's no difference between selling longevity, mobility, strength, looking better, your wife wanting to have sex with you more often or whatever it is, and making $1 million. It's the same thing. It's about what that person values. So the kind of questions you need to ask, the kind of systems you need to have, need to, in the first place, extract every single piece of emotional value from them about what they care about, and then tie that to the logical outcome they want, and then offer them the solution to that. And if you don't do that, you're going to lose sales, and you're going to be, oh, well, sales doesn't work in my industry. You're making millions in fitness. My clients, when Travis came to me and he was making $500,000 in his gym and he just moved out of his car to open the new RBT, the first one, he came to our first retreat that was on for $15,000. He had to sell his BMW to do it. Yeah. And he made 130 grand selling Bali retreats. And then all of a sudden, everyone in the industry started selling Bali retreats and fucking fitness retreats.
Yeah.
There's a reason he went from $500,000 to $1 million to $3 million a month. If he knew what his people wanted, he got on the phone and did the work. You know, if you look at Mark October, he put $500,000 worth of extra on top of his gym through his Wolfpack program, training trainers how to be trainers.
Yeah.
There's a reason when he sat down there at our sales retreat and did that, it was because he asked people exactly the questions that they needed to know the answers to in order to make a difference in their business. Yeah. And it wasn't just about their financials. It wasn't just the tangible stuff, the emotional reasons why they want to make a change. Both those things together.
Yes.
And enough phone calls, the right system later, multiple millions. There's no accident. There's no accident. So what questions should we be asking? We need to get them to actually want to talk to us. Absolutely. We need to get them to open up about what they're going through. And we need to then link that to how we can tangibly change that for them. Obviously, I've got sales scripts and systems out there asked to show you how to do that. But the guts of it is people don't give a fuck how much you know until they know how much you care. So it has to start with them. And it has to not be about you. You have to love them unconditionally and selflessly enough to try and help them in the first place. And that's what makes the real difference. That's everything. Everybody wants to close the sale all the way over here at the end of the sale. Yeah. Everyone's like, I'm going to close everyone like a boss, make all the money. It's like, that's great, but you close shit if you haven't opened in the first place. Yes. You know, you see these young guys, they go to the bar, and it's horrifying for me as a 40-year-old man. Your wife decides she wants to go out dancing to some retro music, so we go to retro. And they're these young blokes, and they're all roided up, jacked up, kind of in a group together, terrified of women. Have you seen that David Attenborough? There's a David Attenborough film about reef sharks on the Great Barrier Reef at night, and they come out and they're pulling everything. They're these predatory creatures. So you see these young guys, and they're like, I just want to get laid. And women are like, I just came to have a good time and dance and stuff. Sales is like that. You got these guys who are like, I want to fucking close, but they don't care about that person in the first place. So I want to get laid, but they don't care about that person in the first place. So when they ask them, hey, baby. Well, true. It's true. Mm. So instead of putting ourselves in our needs first, we're hey, how long have you been here for? Great. Isn't it a wonderful night? Do you like the DJ? Come and have a dance with me and my idiot mates. We're having fun. Hey, do you want a drink? Wow, treating someone like a human being, maybe later on you will get her phone number. Maybe later on there will be something happen, but not if it's like, not if you're putting off that greasy, sleazy kind of, predatory black reef tip shark thing going on. Same with sales. It's called commission breath. If you're like, hi, my name's Gulliver, and here's what I've got for you, it's like, fuck off. Yeah. So my pitch tends to be more, I'm Gulliver. But more about you. Tell me your story. How long have you been in fitness for? Where are you at? Where do you want to go? What are the goals you want to achieve? This is all about you. And if I can help you, great. If not, that's cool too. But tell me your story. I get them talking about them as fast as possible. And then I'm like, oh, yeah. Wow. So 3 years now. Okay, wow. And you really want to get into competitive weight. Super. Why? What drives you to do that? Really? That's awesome. Okay, cool. So you've been really working at this for a while now. What do you reckon's getting in the way? Okay, great. So if you were where you wanted to be, what does it look like? Okay, and then what's that? Why is that important to you? Right, so what would that be worth? Right, so if we could get you there, that would be worth pretty much everything. Okay, cool. And how much money would that make you? Right, so where you are now, you're making how much? Okay, about 100 grand a year, and you want to get to $500,000. Fantastic. So really what I'm hearing is you're here and you want to be here and you've been going through this, but you're really struggling with that and you're sick of being at 100 grand, you want to be $500,000. Is that correct? Fantastic. Awesome. You've come to the right place. That part is where the money is made. All the way over here at the end when we ask them for the deal, if we didn't do that bit right, we're fucked. And that's what people mess up.
Yeah. That 30-second spiel is absolutely brilliant. So I'm so happy that's recorded because everyone right now can just go a little bit of a rewind and actually go through those steps that you just did, learning about where they're at, do you know what I mean? And obviously being able to then articulate the way that you need to be able to articulate, saying, okay, I understand that the problem that you're in right now. What is it that we need to be able to do? And is what I'm doing the solution to what your problem is? Oh, if it is, fantastic, then do it. Next steps.
And you see this mentality a lot with fitness trainers on Facebook and in their sale, yeah? And you see it particularly, it's like, hey, if you want to be part of my amazing retreat, I will take only 10 people to Bali. We're going to cover all this shit, and it's going to be awesome. PM me if you're interested. And I'm supposed, look, it might work every now and again, but It's, look at my shit that I'm selling. Would you like to buy it? Not, hey, are you tired of being in low energy? Are you sick to death of never ever taking any time for yourself? When's the last time you take a week out and actually worked on you? Yeah. If you're tired of making all the money in the world in your business, but knowing that your body's going to shit, if you're tired of being inflexible, if you're tired of not being able to see your dick when you look down in the morning, if you're tired of not being sexually attractive, if you're tired of feeling like a fat slob, if you're tired of knowing that you're one step closer to cancer if you don't turn this shit around, come to Fiji for a week with me and we'll change this. I won't even put the Fiji in. I'd probably put the, hey, personal message me and let's talk about your problem.
Yeah.
And then we'll take them through that process. And then at the end of that process, that's when we sell them something.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to fucking start selling here, and then they wonder why it doesn't work and they don't make as much money as they should, and they wonder why people think that they're all fucking pushy, and then they make up a story in their head about how sales is pushy and business is hard. Well, not if you're not a fuckwit. Do it properly.
Yeah.
So,
don't break rule number 1. Don't be a douchebag.
it's hard for some people.
It's hard for some. Now, I wrote something down because you said something before that was really good, Gulliver. Systems.
Yep.
How should people understand what systems they need to have in place when it comes to this?
That's a fucking long answer.
Yeah, it's a broad question.
Short answer. Look, if you can download my script builder for free on the internet, and it will give you my script. So we built a thing called Sword of Sales. So www.sword, S-W-R-D, of sales, S-A-L-E-S.com. It's like a 1980s style, like Zork computer game where you put text-based, like it's like choose your own adventure. Yeah. And the answers you put in, create a sales script. It takes about 40 minutes and then it mails you off the sales script. Basically, what it takes you through is what all sales scripts, the foundations of are, who are you, what are you going through? Well, for the customer you're talking to, who are you? What are you going through? What are the big breakthroughs I need to give you? Let's give you those big breakthroughs. Now you realize how fucked you are. You know what it's costing you not to have those breakthroughs in your life. My program's only this much. Would you like to buy it? Yeah, very simple. So Collier, the great copywriter of the 1930s, taught attention, interest, decision, action, right? You got to get their attention. You got to get them to be interested. You got to get them to make a decision. You got to get them to take action. When I first did sales all those years ago, that's what we got trained, right? But the way it's taught is, I think, indicative of what's going on in the industry right now, and so many sales trainers and people out there, is you got to get this and get this and get this and get this. And I don't think that's really what we've got to do. I think we've got to give them all attention. Hey, is that Chris? Chris Dofi, awesome. Chris, you're the very bloke I need. I hear you're a man of amazing taste. Well, I know you are because you opted in for my 1 week warrior program. Yeah. This means you're a man who wants to get better at sales, yeah? Great. So tell me all about you today. Is about you. It's about your story. It's about what you're going through. And if I can help, great. If not, that's cool too. But tell me everything. So what have we done? Attention, Chris. It's the Chris show. Interest. I fucking care. I want to know about you as quickly as possible. That bit. And then when you tell me, well, I started in 1976 and me and my girlfriend, blah, 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 and I'm like, wow, really? Cool. I care. I'm listening. I'm going to make all sorts of interested noises. I'm interested. Wow, really? Oh, she did what? Oh, geez, how did you overcome that? Oh, my God. Guys are shit at this. Women are awesome at it. Really? Oh, that's Shailene. She's been since high school. She did what? Oh, no. Really? You listen to your wife on the phone with girlfriends, you pretty much know what's going on. Even though you can't hear one side, you can hear the side. And it's like days of our lives. Men are terrible at this shit. We're like, nah, all right. What happened? My brother died.
You're so good.
Like, we're not expressive. Men need to get better at this. So guys out there, get your fucking emotions on. Be emotionally present. Wow, really care. Ask them emotional questions about their goals and where they want to go and why it's important in their family and their life. And then the technical, so how much weight do you actually want to lose? What's your BMI or whatever shit you're asking them. And then when you're done with all of that, wrap it up in a bow and we get into the decision-making phase. So look, if you've come to me, usually at this point, if you're my ideal client, you're looking for this or this or this. In health, it's usually you're looking to have aesthetically pleasing body. You want to look better. You want to be sizzling hot. You want chicks running into freaking lampposts because they've taken their mind off the road when you walk down the road. Or You actually don't care about how you look, but you want to be able to move well, lift more things, play with your kids, be able to dig that four-wheel drive out of the mud, run up that mountain chasing deer, or you want to live forever. You're doing well in your life. You don't want to die at like 50 with a catheter bag up your ass because you had a stroke. You want to live till 150 and run marathons when you're 120. So those are the three real categories. You could be 1, 2, 3. You could be all of them. Which one do you think mostly resonates? Oh, you're all three. You've said yes, yes, or yes. We have begun to close you into what do you want. The reason you don't look like you want to look, the reason you can't move the way you want to move, the reason you're going to live a shorter life is because of all the things I'm about to give you breakthroughs around. Then you give them breakthroughs, and then when they've said, oh my God, I'm fucked, you say, well, the cost to you right now, another triplicate, as we begin to move into the action phase, the cost is you're fucked if you don't change this. You pretty much just spent the last half an hour telling me you're fucked here, fucked here, fucked here, fuck. Is that correct? Yes. The price is doing something about it, being vulnerable enough to be a real man and say, hey, I need fucking help and I'm sick of feeling this way and I will pay the price, because the money is the least of it. The investment's only $97 a week for 2 sessions of half an hour. And if we get you started on that, we might move you up to 3 or 4 sessions once you get better. But right now, put down your $97. I'll send over your contract. What time can we get you started tomorrow morning? Very simple. But most people don't.
So brilliant. I'm so happy that's recorded. Yeah. But it is so simple. And I think that's why I had a conversation with someone just the other day, and obviously they were going on about like how they want to make things so complicated. And that's why I wanted to get on with you and be able to see, do you know what I mean, what is going on right now? And when you're talking about such like massive deals and all these great people, do you know what I mean? We're talking about Ryan Dice, Jay Abraham, and everything like that. And then you start bringing it back to this simplicity. It's just like, okay, this makes so much sense. And this is why I'm so happy to be able to share this stuff out.
Was it Einstein said, you know, like it takes to, like any educated idiot can make a simple thing more complicated.
Yes.
It takes somebody
it takes a genius
smart to make it simple.
Yes.
I'm not saying I'm really, really smart, but
no, it's totally. I absolutely commend it. It's true. It's true. No, I totally pay that. It's exactly what's going on right now. So yeah. I'm so happy with that. I'm interested in how you operate right now. I'm like, what's going through my head? What's coming up for Giles? Where do you want to be going now?
I think, look, for me, position where, you know, we've created this company which is going really well. It's in the multiple millions. We've got multiple staff. I want to be spending more time teaching this at a high level. I want to be reaching millions more people. I want to put 1,000 people, 2,000, 4,000 people in my event instead of 40, 50 or 100. So I'm really looking to revolutionize the way that sales is seen and make it simple and make it about love and self-respect. Yeah. Instead of it being this horrible thing that people are doing to each other for money to rip each other off that everyone seems to think is so fucking in vogue right now. Yeah. So I want to break it right back to those basics for the world. I want it to become a tertiary vocation, an honourable path. So one of the things we're going to be doing is building up our sales dominance events to really show people how easy and simple it can be and how much money can be made and how quickly, if you get off your ass and actually face your fears, put your shit aside and talk to people and love them. And then where we're heading with it is we want to create, you know, back in the day before there was TAFE, there was, you know, you had the great trades, you you go and do your apprenticeship and then you become a journeyman and then you become a master of your trade. Yeah. That's what I want to bring in for sales. I want there to be like a house of sales. I want to be able to actually, you know, enshrine what I'm teaching in a system that brings the honour into sales and the service and the love into sales, not the stuff that's being taught right now about the Mac Daddy of awesomeness and the Lamborghini coppers and the cocaine, but actually how to make it a decent thing. It seems to me to be really sad that businesses are going broke left, right and centre because they're not taught sales in university or in tertiary institutions, and sales is a dirty word. And we've got like 1 in 3 go broke because they don't understand. And it seems like a shame to me. So that's where I really want to take stuff. And I'm really interested in meeting as many people as I can and training this stuff into them so that they can actually take that and make that part of their business.
That's awesome. And I totally agree with what you said. We sell everything. We sell ourselves. If I want to go to a certain restaurant with my wife tonight, do you know what I mean? I have to sell the fact of that restaurant. I have to sell it. Like we're selling ourselves, our businesses, like everything on all day, every day. Why is this not taught to people? Do you know what I mean? Why are people opening businesses, investing money, losing their shirts because these basic skills aren't there?
This is something I've been saying for a decade, that even when you sell yourself on how sales is evil, you're still selling.
Yeah, exactly. Ridiculous. Okay.
So it's an honourable...
Sorry, go, Gulliver.
It's an honourable thing. And it's something that, like, if you really want to honour your family and help the people in your life and be an effective business person, you better get fucking good at it. Because otherwise, you're always going to be dependent on when the bell rings at the gym or when the phone rings, and you're going to be waiting, hoping, like in the lap of the gods, that some deals wash up on the fucking shoreline. Otherwise, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You know, if you go fishing, and your strategy is, I'm going to sit on the high tide line with a bucket, hoping some fish are going to jump in the bucket. You're going to be eating rotten toadfish and dead fucking seabirds. Yeah, but if you say, right, I really want a big snapper there at the breakwater on dawn, eating little fish. If I take a little fish on a hook and throw it out there, I've got a chance. You're going to be eating a big snapper for dinner. So it's up to you. Do you want to eat dead seabirds and rotten fucking toadfish? Or do you want to eat well? You want your family to eat well, you've got to learn to sell. It's that fucking simple. It really is. It
is. No, totally. I completely agree with that. What is it that you ask of the audience right now? Everyone tuning in with us right now, what do you want them to be able to do right off as today?
Look, most of the people who are listening to this right now, no offense to your clients or the world in general, but we'll just fuck all with this. There's a nice feeling in their pants, they're going to do something, and then they won't. Many people are called, few people are chosen, and fewer still survive selection. If you feel called, you have to take a step forward. You have to do something about this. You have to stop languishing in the what if I one day get better at this and actually do something about it. We have an opportunity coming up on the 4th, 5th and 6th of July in Melbourne, where we're going to be training sales. If you want to know more about that, you can find me on Facebook. There's only really one of me. If you come to that, we're going to force you to make sales. Yeah, so we will literally put you on the phone. Day 1, we will put you through my mindset. Day 2, we will put you through my systems. And day 3, we'll put you on the phone with a list of people who will make you call them. The last time we did this in Arizona, we made $1.3 million with 50 people in the room in 5 hours on day 3. The last time we did this in Melbourne, we did 300,000. Yeah. The record for Melbourne is, I think, 600,000 or 700,000. I'd like to beat it, but you know, it would take everybody on this call listening to gather up their courage and reach out and say, you know, I want to do something about this. I want to become good at this. I want to come to Sales Dominance and test myself against the best in the world. And if that's for you, then come. And if it's not, then don't, because you'll have a horrible time, because we'll actually ask you to do work and get better and make sales. Just like in the gym. If I show up in the gym, you're going to make me do the squats. You're going to make me do those push-ups. If I say, oh, I don't feel like it today, you're going to hit me even harder. Yeah. Same in my sales training. So very much, I love personal trainers. I love fitness people because they get that if you do the reps, then you get the results. Same with the phone. If you don't pick it up, you're not going to get the results. Yeah. So that's what I'd ask you to do. Do something about it. Come and get your ass kicked by someone who actually gives a fuck about this more than anybody else in the world, and teach you something that nobody else has ever taught you, because no one else is doing it the way I do it. Even my ex-students down the line are doing bastardized, weakened, watered-down versions of what I do. If you want to drink the cask strength whiskey from the bottle, if you want to get the real shit from the source, come and have a chat with me. Absolutely.
I love that. I think it's I highly recommend everyone gets along and does it, and it just starts to soak in what you've got, Gulliver. So thank you so much for taking the time, mate. I really appreciate this. I'm going to make sure that I actually add the links to everything when this comes out live as well for everyone to click on over to.
Super cool, man.
Now it's time for you to get the most out of this, and this is where I can jump in and give the answers that you need. So ask your questions in the comments below so I can personally come through and answer them for you. Plus, the best discussions happen on chrisdufay.com. So click on over to get everything that I've got there for you. And did you like this episode? Because if so, click subscribe so I can send you all the episodes to come for free straight to you. And for everything that I can't fit in these episodes, plus the free guides and coaching episodes, then click on over to chrisdufay.com now. Looking forward to seeing you soon and in the success community.